People who have been audited by the IRS often say the same thing. It felt like I was guilty until proven innocent. And how about those reports about Americans who have been singled out by the IRS because of their political ideology? Why does it seem like we forego our rights as American citizens when a federal agency suspects us of something? Each year, federal agencies make almost 1 million judgments about people's compliance with federal regulations. All too often, the agency is the accuser, the investigator, and the judge. In these adjudications, Americans aren't guaranteed the rights they would have in court. They do have the right to fight federal fines if they don't mind the hassle and the expense of taking the government to court. Government should work for us, not work us over. But this doesn't seem to be the case with federal bureaucracies. We need to protect Americans who are forced to deal with the IRS or other federal agencies. One proposed law would require federal employees to inform citizens of their rights before subjecting them to an audit or similar actions. They would have to let you know that you have the right to record meetings and phone conversations with federal agents and auditors. Agencies might be less likely to bully us or unfairly change the ground rules of the audit if they know every word is being recorded. Did you know you already have the right to be represented by an attorney when dealing with federal agencies? If you weren't aware of that, perhaps it would show concern for ordinary Americans if the government informed them of these and other rights at the beginning of an audit. One challenge to our country is the huge amount of debt due to government overspending. We all have to tighten our belts. People have to do that with their families when times are tough. The government should do it as well. A reasonable and fair proposal is that every federal agency reduce by 5% the amount of money it spends on overhead, like energy, supplies, travel, and conferences. For instance, over a 3-year period, the IRS spent $50 million taxpayer dollars on things like luxury hotel rooms, baseball tickets, dance classes, and alcohol. The IRS has admitted that many of these expenses were, quote, inappropriate. And the IRS didn't keep full financial records of the conferences, so the costs may be even higher. Try saying that at your own tax audit. The Government Accountability Office, which is an independent agency designed to provide oversight into policy effectiveness, has identified what could be up to hundreds of billions of dollars in redundancy and duplication. That's an easy place to begin to get our fiscal house in order. In the last few years, Washington has sent billions of dollars in subsidies to the politically connected. The Obama administration loaned more than $500 million to Solyndra, a solar panel manufacturer, at outrageously low interest rates. Solyndra later went bankrupt, leaving taxpayers holding the bag. When Solyndra first applied for the loan, appraisers warned that it looked too risky. Obama officials fast-tracked the loan process anyway. How did Solyndra get such a great deal? It might be because one of Solyndra's biggest investors was also a big fundraiser for Obama's presidential campaign. Solyndra is not the only example of government investments gone wrong, unfortunately. Beacon Power Corp, Enerdell, and Abound Solar are other companies that have filed for bankruptcy after receiving substantial federal funds or loans. Deals like these are unacceptable and unfair to taxpayers. It's not fair for the government to pick winners and losers in the marketplace, especially when our nation's leaders are picking their friends to be the winners. Government bureaucrats entrusted with public safety and money should be held to an especially high standard. Recently, Lois Lerner, who at the time was director of the Tax-Exempt Organizations Division of the IRS, revealed that her division had improperly targeted conservative and religious groups for scrutiny. When she refused to resign, she was placed on administrative leave with full pay and benefits. That's hardly fair. Another proposed law would make it easier to discipline and even dismiss government employees who break rules, violate the rights of Americans, or worst of all, endanger lives. The federal government should be allowed to place on unpaid leave employees under investigation for serious offenses. Implementing these changes would make things fairer for taxpayers. Both houses of Congress should pass them, and the President should sign them into law. Thank you.